In the last video, we have seen what is quality and how a project will get initiated in a company, and what is bidding of the project, how the company structure will look like, and what are all the various teams involved, and project initiation note. All these things we have seen in the previous video. Now, once the project initiation note, which is created by the project manager, so project manager will create this pin document, and that will get reviewed by your project director, and then finally you will be ready to implement the project. So to implement the project, what the project manager need? The project manager need the required team. So in the team, you will be having development members, that means who develops the application, and then you will be having testing members who are going to perform the testing of the application. So when I say developing the application, for example, if I wanted to have an application for my banking customers, let us say I wanted to have Citibank. Assume this is the application which is used by the Citibank customers, the people who are having account with Citibank. Let's say the requirement of the customer is they need to have a login page where the customers of the Citibank will log in here, and then they will be able to see the account information of those people. So that is what they are going to uh, come up with a requirement to a software company. So to do this, what we need? So whenever somebody wants to implement any of the project, they have to follow a process called SDLC, stands for Software Development Life Cycle. So what is software development life cycle now? So software development life cycle, this is a process. This is a process to build an application as per the customer requirements using certain phases. So there are 6 phases primarily, which are requirements phase, and then you will have analysis phase, and then you will have design phase, and then you will have coding phase, and then testing phase, and finally you will be having delivery and maintenance phase. Delivery and maintenance phase. So these are the major phases involved in the software development lifecycle process. What does it mean? So whenever a customer asks to develop any software, first they need to have the requirements, and we need to analyze those requirements to see on what platform you are going to build the application. When I say platform, whether you are going to build the application on Java or .NET or any other technology, PHP. So there are so many programming languages available. So whichever the technology they are going to use, that you will be doing as part of your analysis. And then you will be doing the design, what would be the high level design and the low level design, and then finally you are going to implement the software in the coding phase. And once the coding is completed, so testing team will conduct a rigorous testing according to the customer's requirements, whether the software is behaving properly or not. So they will be performing both positive and negative testing, and finally once everything is done, then it will be delivered to the customer, and then maintenance will be provided. Now we are going to see each and every phase in a detailed manner. So first, if at all you need to understand the phases very well, first you need to understand what is going to happen in each phase. So let me write these phases names here, and then we will go one by one. So let's say if you take these phases, you will be having requirements phase, analysis, design, coding, testing, delivery, and maintenance. So what is going to happen? What will happen in each phase, and who is going to participate, who is going to do what. So those people you need to understand first. In the requirements phase, what will happen? So in the requirements phase, from our organization, from our organization, assume this is your client. So this person is sitting in some location. It could be India, or it could be USA, or wherever the customer office is there. So the customer resides in that particular location. Assume the customer is, for our case, our customer is in Singapore. Okay. Now, from our company, there will be people, project manager, and then business analyst will go to the customer location in the initial phase. So why they will go there? So they will go to the customer location and understand from the customer directly, and they will gather the requirements, and everything will be documented. So who is going to participate here? Your project manager and then business analyst. So those two people will be involved. So whenever they are going, so to make sure that whatever they are getting, the entire things needs to be documented. So there they are going to take one template from your company. So in the template, all the requirements, whatever the requirements your customer is saying, all the requirements will be noted by the business analyst. Once the business analyst note down all the requirements, your project manager will review them, and then they will present it back to the customer. So if there are some things which our business analyst may miss, then again they will ask you to update the document and give it back for the walkthrough. When I say walkthrough, you are going to present the same thing to the customer. Once everything is finalized, you will be getting one outcome document of this phase. That document we call it as FRS, stands for Functional Requirement Specification Document. So this document is the outcome of your requirements phase. So this is very, very important. So every company will have this document, but some people may call FS, which is called as functional specification, and some people may call it as URS, user requirement specification. Some may call specification, CRS, customer requirement specification. Like that, everybody will have a BRS, business requirement specification. So everything is same, but you need to understand according to your company, you have to follow the naming convention. So whatever the template is available, so first of all you need to understand template. What is a template? Template means a predefined format. What does it mean? For example, if I wanted to apply some admission to for your son or somebody, let's say template for school admission. So if I go like this, then you will be able to see the template where how the form will look like, and you just need to upload only the required details for that particular form. So let me admission form. I'm just giving an example. See here. So this we call it as a template. So when I say this as a template, what does it mean? Any student can take this document, and then they will be able to submit this document to the school. See here, if you look at this document, got downloaded. Okay, let me open the document. So if you look at this template, so what will happen for this particular school, if you wanted to take the admission, you just need to fill this information. That means the template is there. So similarly, there will be a document called a requirement document template that we call it as FRS. Under that, they are going to have all the requirements. For example, if I say, they are going to say requirement 1. Okay, the first requirement is Citibank users should have login page with two options, virtual and normal login. Assume this is one of the requirement. They will note down like this. So if you go to the Citibank application, let's say if you go here, see, this is your login using virtual keypad. This is another requirement. I'm just showing you guys, so you just understand from this requirement what is exactly the customer is looking for. So just to make you understand, I am demonstrating through the application so that you will be able to understand how your application will look like. So initially, the customer may provide some snapshots or screenshots, how their application, they might give some images also to build this application, or else some sample sites also they may give. Based on that, you will be gathering all the requirements. So this is all about how you gather the requirement. After that, your business analyst will understand the requirements and explain back to the customer, and finally, once everything is done, your FRS document will be finalized. That is the outcome of this phase. So then what is your project manager doing? So your project manager responsibility is to ensure that the activities are happening on time, and also he is also responsible for providing any prototype demonstration. Prototype, what do you mean by prototype? So prototype demonstration means whenever your customer is not clear with what you are demonstrating, in that case your project manager will provide a small piece of program or a small POC. POC stands for proof of concept, and then provide the demonstration of the activity what we are going to do. Say for example, if you look at some people will provide an ad for let us say vegetable cutting machines, vegetable cutting tools. If I take this as an example, let's say if you look at this one, so this is a tool where, so outside the market, people will demonstrate it in the TV by taking some vegetables and show one or two examples like how the vegetable will get cut. In the same manner, they will be demonstrating with chopping. So how they will chop the potato or carrot or whatever. So when you demonstrate this, you are investing some money for these vegetables. Whatever the amount you are investing, if your customer purchase this item, then you will get benefit out of it. If at all your customer is not purchasing that, then whatever the amount you are spending on these vegetables for the demonstration, that cost is from your pocket. So that's the reason we will not spend too much money for the prototype demonstrations. Until and unless customer provides the money, then only people will do the POC. And in some cases, to get the business from the customer, companies will invest on POCs. Hope you are clear on what is prototype demonstration. So your project manager is responsible for those activities, and also he is also responsible for planning of each and every activity. Once that is done, so this document will be input for the next phase, that is your FRS. FRS document will be input, and analysis phase, they are going to do the feasibility study. Feasibility study means whether the system, whether whatever the requirements the customer is asking, whether those are feasible or not. And also tentative planning, when to do what, and also technology selection, and then schedules. these things they are going to do in the analysis phase. Who is going to do? So that will be taken care by your project manager and system analyst. So these two people will look at the requirements and understand whether that is feasible or not. Let us say they have identified that has to be done in Java, and then they will tell the customer, okay, this application needs to be built with Java and then Oracle as the database. So that once they understand, if the customer is asking exclusively for some technology, PHP, I want my application to be built in PHP, this is another programming language, so then you have to build it in that. If there are any problems, you need to bring it to your customer, and the tentative planning will be taken care by your project manager. At what time you are going to do what will be given, and finally based on the analysis, you will be identifying the technology, and then you will give the schedules what is that you are going to do. So all the planning activities will be taken care by the project manager, and all the analysis activities will be taken care by the system analyst. Once everything is done, there will be an outcome document. That document we call it as SRS document. SRS document stands for system requirement specification. So this document is clearly talks about what exactly your system is looking for, what exactly your system needs. So that information will be there in the system requirement specification document. Once the system requirement specifications are done, this will be input for the next phase, that is your design phase. In the design phase, you will be having your project manager, and then you will be having chief architect, and also you will be having senior leads or senior team members will be, or senior developers also will be part of this discussion. So what is going to happen in the design phase? In the design phase, high level designing and low level designing, and the along with this, like first they'll be defining the architecture of the system. Architecture of the system, what does it mean? When I say architecture of the system, your chief architect will comes into picture, and he will understand what exactly the system will look like and how it will interact with other systems. All those things will be defined by the chief architect. And senior developers will be taking care of high level design. So high level design, like what would be the flow of the application, and low level design talks about how the independent modules are going to work. So let us say, to make you a simple understanding, architecture of, let's say, architecture of architecture of Amazon website. Let's say if you take this, you'll be able to see the architecture, how it is defined. So what are all the different things involved in the Amazon website, we will see now. Architecture of Amazon website, if you go, let me take an example. Let's say, see, so if you don't understand this, that is fine, but what exactly you are going to do? Okay, let me take a simple example which you frequently use. TSRTC, this is a transportation site which will be used to book the tickets, bus tickets for Telangana state. Architecture, let me take this example. So if you take this as an example, see what is going to happen. Assume this is the application flow where you'll be having multiple things involved. Just see here. See, your TSRTC application should be accessible through the app, that is mobile app, and then you will be able to do the booking counter or through website. So there, TSRTC, there are bus type facilities, what are all the buses you have, and what is the fields you have, and this is just a flow of your application, like whatever the website we are talking about, right? So the TSRTC customer requirement, whatever they are saying, they wanted to have this TSRTC application. It is to be used by mobile applications as well as websites, and also they need to do the counter booking. So everything needs to be maintained, and for that, if they are building one application, how your application will look like. So what is happening, so there will be so many diagrams. Okay, I'll be just showing you one of the example from that, how your flow will look like. See here, this is a high level flow of your application. Let me take a simple best visible example so that you will be very clear. Booking site architecture. Okay, so now if you see, it is same as yours, but I'm just demonstrating how your application will interact with other things. So this is a kind of whenever you are working with any application, what are all the databases you have. This is a database, and what are all the where you are booking. Here you are booking, and then you will be having certain functionalities: payment service, booking service, search service, and also content distributed network. So this part, if you don't understand, forget about it for now. So what I'm trying to say here is, whenever your customer is trying to book the tickets, it has to interact with multiple layers, and from there it has to go to the database and then get the information. This we call it as high level architecture of the system. So these things will be taken care by the chief architect. You no need to worry about all these things, but as a tester, you need to understand the flow, how it will work. And after that, the senior developer members will be looking at the high level designs and then low level designs. So high level designs, they will be writing the algorithms, and in the low level designs for the independent components, they'll be writing the algorithms. Let me give you an example of a simple algorithm for login. For example, if there is a login functionality, if they wanted to give you the algorithm with some pseudocode. When I say pseudocode means simple English instructions. Let us say this is your flowchart. Okay, let's say this is your flowchart. The developer will get this, and based on that, the developer needs to perform the code. Let me go here and show you. See here, start, and then read username password, login attempt successful. If it is yes, you will be going to some other page. If it is no, what are you going to do? So that means according to these flow chart, then your developers will be writing the program. So those we will be calling it as high level design and low level design. So in the low level design also, they will be having some pseudo code. Pseudo code means simple English instructions, simple English instructions to tell you what needs to be done. Simple English instructions they will provide, and based on that, the developer will write the program. So here they will be defining the TDD, stands for technical design document, and also they will give a high level view of the GUI. GUI stands for graphical user interface. How your application will look like. Those diagrams also they will define. Once that is done, then this document, this TDD, and then GUI will be the input for this phase, and from there the coding phase, the developer will be performing the implementation. So this phase, all the developers will be involved, and they will be developing the software according to the designs they have provided, and according to the modules they will be developing. And then the outcome of this phase is source code document. Source code document, this is the outcome. And also along with this, you will be getting the application that we call it as build. Build stands for application. Whatever the application you wanted to build, that application will come after the development is completed. So hope you understand how the software development life cycle will get started. So I'm just going back one more time. So in the requirements phase, the outcome is FRS document that will be input for your analysis phase. In the analysis phase, the outcome document is system requirement specification document. System requirement specification will be the input for the design phase. Here, high level and low level design will be completed, and based on the technical design document and graphical user interface will come out. And based on that, the coding will get implemented. In that, developers will implement that, and then build will be ready. So how it will happen, what are they going to do, and how they are going to do the testing, those things we will see in the next session. So all these things you just need to understand at a high level, how the architecture will work, how the coding phase, the implementation will happen. All those things we will be discussing in the subsequent sessions. But at a high level, you just need to understand only what are all the phases are there, and what is going to happen in each phase, and what is the outcome of each phase. If you remember, that is fair enough to explain SDLC if somebody asks you.